was away, and once again, rules that were made by the board were not enforced. A speaker did not face the board, but rather the sparse audience, and called out a prize speaker's name. As he was staring directly at me, I must have been wearing my thoughts on my face, and he shouted, "What?" I answered and said, "You need to turn and face the board," whereupon he yelled, "You're rude, and I want to go home to my children." Because I don't know what that is, because he is a friend and supporter of Tony, the town supervisor, nothing was said. I was made painfully aware of how alone I felt in that audience. I followed up and corresponded with the board, and Tony did respond swiftly, but it was a tit for tat response, not a productive one. I followed up again with the deputy supervisor, Mary Shaw, because the town supervisor was out of the country. She also responded swiftly and said she wanted to take time to think about it. After time went by, I wrote again to follow up, and Deputy Shaw explained she was busy and would discuss it with the board. I thanked her, but thought to myself, why do we have a deputy supervisor if she needs to wait for the town supervisor to address the situation? Nothing was resolved, nothing is resolved, and that's what happens always, in my opinion, with weak leadership mixed with partisan politics. We're a small town and we need unity. I don't feel like I was treated kindly by the speaker or by how the situation was handled. I am a first-generation woman with English as my second language. You cannot talk diversity, equality, and kindness. You must practice it. In that vein, I'm personally inviting everyone to the Garibaldi Society of Lewisboro celebration, where we are celebrating Italian-American heritage on October 19th at the Horse and Hound Sunday from 2 to 6 p.m. We're going to have music, food, and drink. We're accepting donations again for scholarships to be given to John Jay students. We raised $2,000 last year. I'm hoping to at least match that, if not more. Please donate, please come, and thank you for listening.
Anyone else? How about on Zoom?
No, there's not.
Okay. Next is communications. I don't have any communications, so we'll move right on to consent agenda, which is the approval of the September 29th meeting minutes and the monthly reports from the building department and the police department. So motion to the consent agenda?
Second.
Discussion?
Discussion. One, I have to abstain on the minutes because I was not present for the last meeting. And second, with the monthly reports, particularly with the building department, I cannot vote to approve those and ask for that we address in an executive session. Advice of counsel.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
So I'm confused.
So do we?
Are the minutes only approved? Are you not approving the reports of the building?
I think, yeah, so Andrew is abstaining from
I'm
both.
abstaining from the
the minutes.
minutes, and I'm
Correct.
voting no on the monthly reports. How's that? Is that?
Okay, and what about everybody else? Are you also voting no on the?
We're all voting yes on the consent agenda.
Yeah.
Overall, yeah. Okay, moving on to new business. We'll have a presentation of the 2026 Police Department budget. Chief. Now, I'm just going to preface this by saying these are the department head budget requests, which will go into the tentative budget. There'll be further reviews, and the tentative budget will be filed with the town clerk. Needs to be filed by October 30th. And or sooner. And the tentative budget is what then gets published on our website.
Which is the supervisor's initial budget, just so people are aware process wise.
Correct.
I'm sorry, I thought the deadline to file the tentative, but I thought the deadline to file the tentative budget was November 10th this year.
November 10th is when so filing with the town clerk is October 30th. Presentation to the town board is November 10th.
Thank you.
Okay, let me just, Chief, if you don't mind, let me just put
Sure.
your spreadsheet up on the screen here. Here on Zoom. Joel, I think it fell asleep, yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right, Chief. Go ahead.
All right, good evening. Jump right into this. I know, the first five are salaries, right? We don't discuss that in public. However, I'd like to discuss that. One is, the second one in youth officer. If you could put a line through that, that should say detective. We're gonna make, hopes to make to a part-time detective. That we could have 2 days a week. More or less 16 hours, depending on what cases we have. If we don't have cases, we could open up some cases that went to the state police that were either unsolved.
Mhm.
We could also send a detective down to the real-time crime center where they can work on Lewisboro cases while they're down there. And the incentive of sending somebody to the real-time crime center, which is monitoring our license plate readers that we have out on the roads. They're also bringing back well over $100,000 in programs that's used for detective work that patrol officers can utilize. So that's the incentive of sharing those services with Westchester County. The whole department will make out with certain programs that cost, like I said, well over $100,000 if we were to go out and buy those programs. So I'm gonna jump down to officer training. We're gonna keep that the same as last year. Court officer, again, we're gonna keep that as the same as last year. Longevity remains the same
Mhm.
for now. I know there's a PBA contract coming up. I believe
Right.
December 31st it expires.
Correct.
So we're gonna be going into negotiations with that in the near future.
Mhm.
The overtime line, I'm keeping the same. Then we're gonna go down to the computer system and software. We're gonna jump up, I believe. I put 20,000, but after speaking with Joel, he requested I add another $5,000 to that line. Due to the fact for IT work and for them to
Well, it's specialized, isn't it, Dave?
Yeah, it is.
The programs and software and hardware that you use is,
so right now our RMS system is server based. I'd like to get on a cloud-based service soon in the near future. There's a couple out there. I'm hoping one, right now there's Axon, there's a company called Axon who has our tasers and our body worn cameras. So I'm trying to keep everything the same. So it's a very user friendly, everything talks to each other, does AI report writing for you. It's state of the art. And they're all similarly priced and they all do the same thing, but it's nice to have one company that it's one stop shop. So I'm with right now, they're just testing it on bigger police departments, like cities and stuff like that. And then they're gonna possibly roll it out to towns and villages. So I have a meeting tomorrow at 10 o'clock actually with Axon, one of their representatives, to go over that. And then fingers crossed that they're gonna be rolling out the smaller towns. So based on Joel's recommendation, I'd like to up that to $25,000. Because our server, IT work, our VPNs and all that computer language, so above my pay grade needs attention throughout the year.
Right. Okay.
Police vest, keeping the same. Defibrillators, I'm keeping the same. Office expenses, I'm keeping the same. And I know if you haven't noticed, but if you look at the actual expenses now, I really haven't spent anything between the office expenses and the equipment line because we didn't really know where we were gonna be, if we're gonna get kicked out of LES. So I kind of want to save a lot of that money and equipment line for, business cards, letterheads, printing and all that kind of stuff. Plus, we also got 2 new full-time hires, so I'll be spending that money on equipping them with the equipment that they need to get out on the road.
When you say save, what do you mean? Like.
Towards the end of the year, I'll be spending it now.
You're spending the year. Okay.
Early on, I didn't know where we were gonna be.
Alright.
Now we kind of have a good idea of what's going on in the future.
And
And
the
then we're able
time
to stay
frame.
LES.
So if you look at some of the lines, Dan, it says what he actually spent in 2025, and some of the numbers are lower than what the budgeted amount was. And
Yeah, no, I understand that. I was
Okay.
thinking more in terms of the sort of municipal accounting and then, you don't roll.
You don't roll over,
things.
yeah.
It will be spent.
Right.
Gasoline, we're gonna leave as is. Uniforms, dry cleaning, we're gonna leave as is. Vehicle maintenance, we're gonna leave as is. Firearms, tasers, body worn cameras, it's contractual, we're gonna leave it as is. Vehicle computer modems, we're gonna leave as is. Dues and conferences, we're leaving as is. Policy and training manual, that's contractual, we're gonna leave that as is. Equipment and maintenance, we're gonna leave as is. However, if you look at the 2025 actual spent, it says 24,198. It looks like I spent over the budget. In fact, I did not. That's not, there's no line item showing money coming in. I had $16,000 that came in off of a donation from a resident for new police shields and dies. So I'm still under on that budget.
Mhm.
Vehicle lease, this is the last payment, which will be January 1st, or February 1st, and then that'll be over with the vehicle lease. And then we own it. LES rent and utilities, it's contractual, we're gonna leave that the same. And then the phone call recorder, we're leaving the same.
Okay. Great, so what we're gonna do is plug this into the tentative budget, along with all the other departments' budget requests. And then the plan is to have a work session where we review the tentative budget.
No, all in all, it represents the budget increase of about $110,000.
Mhm.
Something like that.
And it's mostly contractual PBA contract for salaries.
Okay.
I know one of my full-time guys, he just went from a step 3 to a step 4. And it was a jump, I believe, don't hold me to it, but it was around 80,000 to 103.
Just want to take a moment and acknowledge and thank you for my understanding is that you've been able, through your own efforts to get around 160,000 in donations for LPD, as well as by looking for grant opportunities that you've been able to get close to, I think, about 650,000 in grant opportunities. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because that saves the town money, and are there opportunities to continue that and potentially grow it going forward?
Yeah, so I'm constantly searching and looking for grants. This year might be a little difficult with the feds. I know there's some grant cuts there. But yes, over my years as being chief, I did come up with some of those grants, and we got a lot of equipment. I tried doing hiring a cop grant. We got rejected. There's a lot of grants I did get rejected as well. But a lot of those grants I've applied for, I've gotten money, and it's significant, the offset for the budget. And it's not coming from our local tax dollars.
And we had help from the county also with the radios.
Yes.
So in addition to the ARPA funds that we use for your radios, we had the
Well,
county.
there's another big one is, I know our town radio system was a big problem. And what happened was, instead of spending, I would say $1.5 million to $2 million on a new radio system for the town of Lewisboro for fire, EMS, and police and highway,
Mhm.
I was able to jump on the MTA network and utilize. They are kind enough to give us 5 channels and 2 of the channels for DPW, our highway department, that they could utilize at no cost. So I know we had some previous discussions with Motorola, and it was looking around $1.5 to $2 million to build a network. And that's not even maintaining that network yearly. So that's a significant savings. And we spearheaded that project. We pretty much finalized it last year.
And plus, people in the town can communicate effectively with each other. There was a time not too long in the distant past where law enforcement couldn't even effectively communicate with each other.
We couldn't, and now we have the opportunity to talk to our neighbors in Connecticut as well. So,
Excellent. Thank you very much, Chief.
thank you. I'll be on the next one.
The next one. Oh, yeah, that's right. So the police department, purchase of a 2025 Ford Interceptor utility hybrid from Schultz Ford. So yeah, I'll let you go and describe how we're funding that,
Just give me a moment.
which has been shared with the board. So everyone has that information as well. There was an email from Annie.
Right, so currently I sold 3 vehicles on Auctions International, and with those 3 vehicles, trying to find my notes, I apologize.
Do you want this?
No, I have it here.
Okay.
Those 3 vehicles sold, I got $26,600. And then I also have $10,000 left from a LE Tech grant. And
LE is law enforcement. Is that correct?
sorry, bear with me here. All right, so like I said, I had $26,600 from the sale of the old vehicles at auction. We got grant money from Westchester County Real-Time Crime Center of $17,040. And I have $10,000 remaining in the LE Tech grant. And I'm looking to purchase a Ford utility hybrid police vehicle. It's a 2025. It's from Schultz Ford. I'm gonna try to piggyback bid off that vehicle. The dealer claims that they have another police department that bought a similar vehicle. So basically I could piggyback off the New York State bid on that. He was supposed to email me today. He hasn't emailed me the piggyback bid, but worst case scenario, I will put it on New York State bid and go through it myself. And they'll respond as they're participating in that. So basically with that money that I have, I'm looking for approximately $14,033. That's with the build out. And the build out's approximately $23,000 on top of the vehicle, which costs $44,673 on state bid. I'm hoping we don't spend $23,000 on the build out. I'm hoping it's somewhere around 18 to 20.
Right.
So not to exceed 14,000.
So the 14,000 is coming out of our fund balance, and Annie was okay with that.
Okay, and the reason behind that is I sold the 3 cars. We're having a problem. We're down 4 cars total. Then you'll see on my borrowing request for 2026 is 3 more vehicles.
Right.
But this vehicle that I need right now, we have 1 patrol vehicle, a Chevy Tahoe. It's got well over 100,000 miles, and it's limping on 7 cylinders.
So what number we need? Up to 14,000 or the 14,3350 or?
I'm gonna need, after utilizing the funds, I'm gonna need approximately $14,033. I'd say not to exceed that.
Okay, motion to approve expenditure of up to $14,033 for purchase of the new vehicle by the chief.
Second.
Yeah.
Subject to being available either on your state bid or piggyback of the GM.
Motion is amended by council.
Then we have to approve the full purchase. And then the transfer of the 14,000 from fund balance to this account.
Yeah, you can do that in one motion.
One motion.
the budget modifications necessary,
Mhm.
the 14,000 can be the same motion.
Yeah, so it's,
All right, so motion to approve the full purchase price, which we have of, was it 40?
The 672.
46, yeah.
The purchase price with the anticipated, essentially reimbursement, so there'll be a net, use of the fund balance of 14,033.50.
second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Just a roll call it.
Aye.
Andrew?
Aye.
Aye.
Mary Shaw, aye.
Dan Welsh, aye.
Real quick, the one, so that LE Tech grant, that $10,000 that I have.
Yeah.
That can't go to the purchase of the vehicle.
Can
But
it
it could
go
go
to
to
the
the build-out.
build out?
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah,
one rule on that grant.
Yeah.
Can't go to the purchase of the vehicle.
okay.
So
So is what we approved then as stated
I think
I
is.
think it's okay. It's,
from the build out.
Okay.
it's for the vehicle and the build out together. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll work with comptroller.
right. Okay. Excellent. All right, thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Next, we have Parks and Rec. Nicole, your turn. Just get it up here on the screen. Just give me 1 minute. Okay.
Nicole, I'd like to thank you ahead of time for the detail that you put in to clarify as we were going through line by line.
Not a problem.
All right, so I'll say you have 10 pages. I would say let's focus on the ones that are changing.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
mine's not going to be as quick as the Chiefs, but,
Right. And the salaries, again, that's union and
correct.
contractual, so yeah.
So I'll start at the top. Revenue, I'm projecting the same as this year, 1.5. Currently, we are sitting at,
Oh, hold on.
1,278,589.
Okay,
Okay, so there are not a lot of changes. Going to page 2, the bottom field and play area maintenance. I have an increase of $6,000. We are looking to seed and fertilize the fields.
mhm.
And that's all of the fields,
I'm sorry,
all of the fields.
all of the fields. So that is the reason for the increase. But most of that budget goes to playground inspections, playground mulch, field paints. D'Amico Electric has come out to fix the basketball light timer multiple times. We added more sand to the volleyball courts, so it's kind of yearly things that we have to keep up on. Next page. Vehicle and equipment repairs. We went over by about double. So I am requesting to double that. That is not just our vehicles, this is all parks related, so parks trucks, but mowers, our gators, tractors. All of that.
The senior van as well, right?
No, this is just.
Oh, that's
that-
separate budget.
yes,
Yeah,
that's a separate budget.
Yeah, you're right.
At the bottom of that page, so day camp. Minimum wage is increasing again this year to $17. Yes, some of our staff is not paid at minimum wage, but we do try to stay competitive to keep our employees. So last year I requested 400,000. I believe we are still at 358,000. I think that's what we ended the season with. But I am requesting 429,000. In the event that our numbers increase, we need more staff. We don't know what to expect.
Can you, I don't know if you have it handy, like the number of campers this year over last?
don't have that number in front of me.
Okay.
It was a little lower, but not significantly, I wouldn't say so. Day camp aquatics, we ended up coming in at an actual of 50,451. So, compared to what I requested, 55,625, we are asking for 57,500.
And just for clarification for the folks here and at home, the actuals that are here, these are from when this report was run back in August. So where you're providing us an update
Correct.
since then. Yeah.
Correct. Next page, Little Explorers Camp. We actually did go in the negative of $400. So I'm requesting 17,500. We are looking to also add an additional trip for the Little Explorers. After camps, so that's our mini camps. We've offered one trip each week, and then this year and last year we had provided lunch in the registration. And then we would pay Lily's for providing the lunch for those campers. We are looking to cut back on that. So we are lowering significantly to down to 8,700. Teen Treks, we had about 20,000 left in that budget line, so dropped it down to 130,000 requesting. Again, don't know our numbers, what we are expecting. Teen Treks 2 is the 6th grade hybrid camp that we had offered this year. There are 11 trips during the 6-week camp season on Mondays and Fridays only, and basing it on 35 campers, we are looking to drop that down to 25,000. Next section is pool. So pool directors and head guards, our actual expense came out to 51,358. We asked last year for 58, we're requesting 64,000. We do actually, in the 2026 season, we will be open a week longer than this year due to when Labor Day falls. And we did have more weekend closures this summer in June due to the weather. So weekends, we generally have more staff on because you expect it to be busier.
And we'll have a new bathhouse.
Yes. Lifeguards, our actual came out to 179,138. So we are requesting 210,000, slightly up from the 192 this year. Gate attendance and maintenance, our actual came out to almost 28,000. Slight increase of 2,000 from this year. Swim team coaches and lessons, we did go over slightly. We came out to 14,344 this year. So I am requesting 17,750. We offered more lessons, so we had more revenue coming in on that end. Next page at the bottom, last line, service calls and sludge.
Sounds attractive.
Yeah, yeah.
Accurate though.
We could just take the sludge off. I'm asking for 13,000. Our contractor, I guess the contractor who services the diving board says that they do need to be resurfaced this coming year. So that'll be the additional expense in there. I don't have anything major on the next page. Page 7. So I would like to note that we are keeping LES gym rental and maintenance the same, but again, we don't know. We haven't had that meeting with the school district to find out exactly if we will be able to be in there starting January or our timeline there.
Nicole, I don't mean to make you go backwards, but on the previous page under youth, winter, spring, summer.
Yep.
You didn't ask for an increase in the budget, but I noticed just the numbers that were here from August that we spent significantly less. Was there any reason?
As of now, we still have 40,000 left. So it has gone up.
Okay,
Yep, and now at this time of the year, I mean, we still have a few events, we have Fall Fun Fest, so that would come out of there. Basketball, that stuff.
got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. And then the next section, celebrations. So I wanted to break this apart a little bit. Parks and Rec staff, I have only always used that payroll line specifically for fireworks, but I wanted to increase it to apply to these events so that we are paying strictly out of the same line. So 4th of July fireworks, I had initially requested 30,000. The next agenda item is the fireworks. So I am looking now to increase that an additional 2,000.
Did we not run some of these things last year, and where was that budget last year, if anywhere? Like the Fall
They-
Fun Fest, Winter Celebration?
They came out of youth, mostly youth or adult,
Youth,
depending
winter,
upon-
spring, summer.
correct.
That line right here.
So now you're taking out of those.
Well, I'm taking, came out of there in community enrichment. I guess you could say it came out of both. Because when we get to that line, you'll see that
Okay,
I've
so
come
you're-
back on that.
Right, okay, so you're increasing,
So she's moving from one line to another line.
yeah,
Basically.
Yeah.
which would theoretically give you space on the original line where they came from, right?
Correct.
And just an observation, and I'm just wondering, since the fireworks is often associated with the fundraising and things like that, is it helpful to keep it separate for that purpose so that it's sort of associated directly with that?
Well, we keep fireworks
It is a
separate. All these
line.
would be separate lines.
The next line down
So the
is
30
another line,
The 30,000 requested is for fireworks.
32.
Correct.
Well,
Oh,
Right
so
now
we're not
it's
saying that
32.
October Fest, Fall Fun Fest is folded into that same.
No.
line?
No,
No, they're gonna be separate.
They would be
lines.
all separate.
Separate lines, but in
Correct.
this section here.
Correct.
Thank you.
And then after looking at the events this year, I think that we could potentially be combining Oktoberfest and Fall Fun Fest for the future, just because we are competing with Golden Bridge Fire Department, PTOs. There's just way too many other events going on. And at Oktoberfest, we saw a lot of families. So why not just make it
one.
all one?
And I think we competed with Pound Ridge's Harvest Festival or something. They had some big event on that day.
Something.
there are a lot of events in
Yeah.
October. I
Fall,
mean,
very, right. It's
the-
very short and
there were 4 events that I went to the
Yeah.
day of Oktoberfest. So
okay, next page. The nutrition program under seniors, something that is out of our control. I've requested 42,000. I'm sure we will fall short again, just based on the numbers.
that's the Meals on Wheels.
Correct.
Yep.
Facility use and rentals, a slight increase for Stevens Memorial. Again, they had increased our weekly fee for halfway through this year, so that was unexpected. And we have not seen a contract yet for next year.
And that's the rental for the seniors.
Correct. So the next section, adult recreation. First line, requesting, we are anticipating going over budget, because we do still have some programs, yoga, eccentrics, that we do have to pay our instructors, but then we did have this year staff for our events coming out of that payroll line. So I'm requesting 22,000. Adult recreation supplies, we are negative $2,400. That went specifically to adult softball and umpires. This year, we did bring that in-house, so previous years did not pay the umpires. They were paid out of a separate organization, so now requesting 9,500 for next year.
Does that help with the flow of the events?
Yes, and there's more, I'd say, tracking and transparency and we know what's going on. Community enrichment. So looking to decrease that line to 7,500. This would be specific to our new event, Bark in the Park, movie night, new neighbor, food truck Fridays, and then Pride and Juneteenth.
Like that.
And those are the major items.
That's it, right?
Yes. So overall, my budget, 2,723,218. Could see also a slight increase due to, contractual wages as those contracts have not been settled.
And cost.
It's about a
Mhm.
$160,000 increase from last year.
So now, do you have revenue numbers?
I think
Or is that- I think put those
mentally
For now,
Yeah,
yeah, so at the beginning, I said I'm proposing the same for next year, 1.5 million. Currently, we are at 1,278,589
So that's
current as of the end of September. Yes.
What happened with the
one,
pages?
and then just have it on.
Your pages are.
Just, I know, it's putting it out there as an idea, maybe as we go into the process, because we don't, Parks and Rec doesn't have like a marketing budget. Per se, right?
As in,
Like money we spend to like promote different events or anything like that. Well, here's my thought process, which, I mean, just anecdotally. And I go to a lot of events that everybody does during the year, so like, even for example. The pool, which I go, it's been a fair amount, it seems like we have, resources in town that seem to be underutilized, meaning there's a good amount more capacity. What I'm getting at is just straight math. If, for example, we spent $25,000 on picking an arbitrary number and resulted in getting 250,000 more in revenue and targeting different either facilities or programs or places that are underutilized that could, have an economic benefit. And also, aside from the marketing for the revenue, also getting the word out, to just think the newer residents in town, say post-COVID, who may not be as well versed in the facilities that we have in town. I want to get those people with younger kids, people with younger families, to become an integral part of the community, that they know that these facilities are there. I mean, part of the reason I know the pool is there because I've been going to it when my kids were little, and I just, came back again. So it's just something that I give some thought to. It's as an educational component and a revenue component both.
From what I understand, the Parks and Rec Department does send out a brochure, has a website. They put signs up for all of their events. They have email blasts that go out.
So it's all done internally though, for the most part, right? There's no outside services or.
the brochure is done contractually, but they deliver to the post offices and they're supposed to go in every mailbox. So that's the one thing, if they're not signed up for the email blast or don't see the signs, I'm hoping that they get the seasonal brochures to know that we exist.
So I think, Rich, your point is like, are there any other opportunities to enhance marketing that would have a return for us? Something to think about, putting ads in newspapers for certain key events or something, establish a $3,000 budget or something and just experiment, see whether you get a return on it.
Yes, because it's one of the main opportunities for us to generate revenue on behalf of the town, so we should, take a look at it.
So we have the brochures line, so maybe consider adding additional marketing like another line for additional marketing efforts.
Yeah, and I don't know, I don't know how much of somebody has to look at the brochure and keep it during the season and make notes and, I don't know if and for me, it's good. I open up, those type of materials and look through it, but, younger people may not look at it that way. More technologically savvy people may not look at it that way.
Okay.
Some people use both electronics and paper.
Yes, as
All right. Thanks, Nicole. So you could now talk to us about fireworks.
Okay, so our fireworks contract is up. So to avoid having to send out an RFP, I am asking the town board to waive the policy and accept the proposal from International, who have been doing the beautiful display of fireworks for us for many, many years. There was an increase of $4,200 for each year due to the tariffs. Fortunately, I mean, I don't know that it would be any less if we did go out to bid with somebody else. This coming year is the 250th anniversary of the United States, so a lot of municipalities are looking to hold fireworks. And we know this company, but they have done a great job. They always provide the certificates, the insurance, all of that, so.
And they put
So
on a
let's
good
lock
show.
them
And they put on a good show.
Let's
Yeah.
lock them in.
And if there's an issue, they are quick to resolve it. I
Yeah.
personally experienced that. Is there any,
Walk right into
So-
That's the proposal.
Yeah, right. So I'll go ahead and motion that we approve 2-year contract with Fireworks International.
international fireworks?
With the cost for each year of $18,300.
And waive the.
And waive.
I'll waive the procurement policy in order to do that. One resolution. Okay,
Second,
discussion? All in favor? Rich?
Aye.
Roll call. Andrea?
Aye.
Aye.
Mary Shaw, aye.
And well shot.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Nicole. Okay, next it's the maintenance department. Joel, you're up. Make sure your double stays there though, watching that screen. All right, hold on, let me get your file up over here. Okay.
A couple of changes since this first year.
It's up there. You can just share it. Okay. Yeah, same thing, go over like the ones that are, there's
Yes.
some changes.
First two lines are contractual.
Mhm.
First one, two lines. The second line is seasonal help. I'd like to increase by 2,000 to get a little bit, few more weeks at the end of the year. Right now I knock off during like August. I'd like to go at least till September. Next line is overtime, increase it by 6,000. This last year was higher than normal because it seemed like it only snowed on weekends and holidays. So it's more than normal. But I have to provide weekend inspections for our water supplies. Now they want 7 days, 365. I mean, it has to be every day of the year. And my guys used to do a little more on comp time. They don't do as much on comp time. So I used to have a guy that would pretty much check the buildings just for comp time. Now he's not doing it as much, so I have to pay the guys to do this.
Mhm.
So that does change that. That's what the actual cost would be. Longevity is contractual. Zero. Electricity is going up by, talking to Cheryl, that's just what we're going to spend this year. We're not really sure why. It just seems like it's gone up quite a bit.
Mhm.
Wait, but it's-
And that also includes, the new building, right, which we didn't pay for yet, so electricity for what I call 892, it's blue building. We have to allow probably 6,000 a year for electricity in that building.
Do we have any
I'm
prior,
gonna guess.
any prior bills to look at, to get an idea of?
Yeah, it was pretty lightly used for a little while, it seems like. I
And they
think we're
went
gonna
through
use it
a-
a little heavier.
They went through an energy efficiency thing where they converted all lights to LED.
Everything's LED and motion
Yeah.
sensor, it's good in that regard.
Yeah.
Oh, does this take into account the solar?
We haven't done anything with that yet, I don't. think
Yeah.
Someone better will study on it.
Should be getting something from that.
Yeah, that would be factored into the actuals, right? Because that comes right off
Yeah.
the bills.
Yeah.
But what I'd like to do in this townwide is the New York Power Authority. You know, we've been in touch with them and they have programs now for municipalities where you could potentially save on electricity.
So we'll get the uninsured revenue, right?
Yeah, that too.
The bar's gonna be revenue because there's really not much going on there, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that helps. Heating fuels based on where we're gonna be this year. We didn't really pay separate utilities at LES like that. We paid basically their rent. So now we're paying electric and fuel broken out. So whatever we didn't pay, whatever we used to pay in rent and all that, which goes away over there, it's gonna. Some of it can
Added over here.
turn into utilities.
Some of it because we did pay for utilities that exceeded the contractual amount.
Yeah, which
With
seems like
LES.
was all over the map. We
Yeah.
have to put that. Heating fuel. Oil burner parts and labor, HVAC, that number there is not 20,000, it's 12,000.
Okay.
And that too is because we have more oil burner maintenance contracts now since my oil burner guy retired. So we have to contract that out more. 892 has HVAC on 3 floors.
Mhm.
So there's a little more maintenance with that. Telephone radio, that goes up 7,000 if we are putting the new building on fiber, light path fiber. Right now we use light path fiber phones in this building. The rest of the buildings are all considered off-site, so I don't get any support if the phones go offline. LightPath doesn't support it because I'm not using their switches and fiber. So if we want to extend that to that new building, put in fiber in their equipment, that's what the cost is, 7,000.
And that's what we have in this building, right?
We have it here, yeah.
At LES, we don't.
No, we run off-site,
Mhm.
which is, we have problems with the sound quality and these phones are kind of fussy. So we run through the old Optimum modems, which go out a lot.
Mhm.
So they have issues there. The fiber never goes out.
Right.
So that's why that is different there.
Is this gonna be an ongoing thing or is this a one-time?
No, that's what it costs a year.
$7,000.
A year, yeah. The fiber hookup is about 600 a month.
Hmm.
Because there's no other fiber in town yet. We have to go with LightPath.
Right.
Telephone radio, that's that. Refuse is 3,000 because of the dumpster at the new building. It's 3,000 a year. Direct dumpster. Cell phone service, we're gonna be at 18,000, but I mentioned to Tony, that's not really a cell phone. That's probably half cell phones, half communication modems. That's police car modems. That's backup modems for our buildings. If our cable goes down, to switch over to. So these aren't just phones.
Mhm. Mhm.
So the cell phone service is really about half of the cost. So it's actual cell phones. It's also just cellular communications.
Right.
Technology.
Seems to me we have the owner of a major cell phone network, actually, it's in town, should probably. Famous actor, never mind.
Is the reception good?
Oh, yeah, which carrier?
let's just move right along, shall we?
It's a real thing.
No gossip.
No.
Okay,
Oh,
gasoline,
I think that goes to 20. Speaking of Tony and Annie, I think that number is gonna go to 20 from 30.
oh, for gasoline,
Yeah, so
Okay.
that goes down. And we'll still be on track for that.
Okay.
We'll be under 20 this year. Cleaning supplies doesn't change. Parts. That is a general equipment maintenance we use for our trucks, tractors. And we have a couple new pieces of equipment that we, the newer stuff, it actually requires a bit more maintenance because they're, to do it right, like our old tractors from the 70s, which we still have, you can't hurt them or kill them, but the newer stuff is pretty fragile, I'd like to say. So you have to do a lot of filter changes, a lot more preventative maintenance
Right.
on the newer stuff.
I feel the same way about myself.
Old stuff.
well, aren't there also certain that have their equipment in proprietary lockdown? As far as their, yeah, so
We
you
can't get,
locked into using their
we can't get the
maintenance.
software to
Yeah.
diagnose, it has to only be done, like John Deere's
Yeah.
famous for that.
I was not gonna mention any names, but
I think they're known for that now.
yeah,
LES rent and utilities, I'm not involved in that.
Mhm.
Elevator inspections. Goes up, it doubles because we have a new elevator now. Is actually a real elevator. Which is kind of nice. So his maintenance is going up by 8,000. That's, I mean, we could double that month, still set and still use it. That's basically everything we use to maintain the facilities, and now we'll be doing. The new building over there has square feet, has, gutters and siding and windows, and all this is gonna be. Square foot wise, it comes out to about $8,000. Hydration, I think that's just water.
But you're not saying that the new building doesn't require
No,
gutters and sidings, okay, just want to make clear, yeah.
An estimate.
No,
No, doesn't,
at this point, it requires nothing except whatever we're doing for our renovations,
right,
which I'm not including, but we can do percentage of it with out of this budget.
right.
The paint,
Mhm.
things like that, we can,
Right.
move some walls around.
And so the building repairs line is not what you were anticipating for the new building, that was just.
No, not necessarily. I mean, that would include a portion of it for maintenance for that facility, which could fall under some of those renovations. I mean. It doesn't need
Yeah, we,
real work yet.
right,
You know,
yeah, once we get into knowing, for example, how to adapt the building for court, for example, the first floor,
right,
we'll put together a capital budget, we discussed with Annie having a separate capital
right.
plan.
Yeah, the second floor renovations, like the little carpet, we can handle that, carpet paint and
Mhm.
rocking.
Mhm.
That fits under all now.
Yep. It's looking really good, by the way, the work you guys are doing, so thank you.
Has it been determined we're putting the court in?
Not finalized, but
I don't remember getting that email.
no, because it's still Robin just this week on Friday before she left for Portugal. She left the hand drawing. Now we have to review with the architect and yeah,
We're busy on the second floor right now, where the LES offices are.
right.
Building repairs unanticipated. That's up to you all. You want, a suggestion would be to have something in that line. We've had it in there in the past, not had it in there in the past.
Yeah, you didn't use, or you used some of it, right?
Well, that's where there's things that go that just aren't anticipated.
Right.
So with the spot for it,
Right.
comes and goes, that line.
So the 42, let me just scroll up here.
in
This was
20,
2024, the actual was 43,900.
and the year before was
So
30.
ideally, well, depending on what we do on the capital side, we should
Right, exactly.
keep this.
Yeah, exactly,
Okay.
yeah. Which, yeah. And the renovation of the building.
Yep.
If you're getting into serious stuff. Cleaning service. Those things keep going up. That number would drop by 14,000, I'm requesting if Fort moved. We have to pay the need Fort cleaned.
That only
If
is,
they moved into 92, then that number would drop to 14,000 because we already have that building plan.
right,
So, but it includes, this is saying that there'll be an LES all year, that 14,000, which I don't think will happen, but.
Yeah.
Without that, it would be 70. These numbers,
Mhm.
just keep going up and it's all prevailing wage. And we're still cleaning one of them ourselves,
Which one is that? Are you cleaning?
the little Cyrus one.
Oh, yeah, that's
We're
right.
annual.
The Cyrus Russell.
But,
Oh,
equipment rental doesn't, what is that for?
Is that your like
A
lips?
lift, we rent
Yeah.
a lift 2 times a year. Now we'll do one 3 times a year, because we'll probably haul it over for at least a couple of weeks over to the new building, because it's up 3 stories. And we have to do all that work up there, we don't use ladders.
Mhm.
We don't go up more than like 10 feet on a ladder,
Right,
because we've had guys fall and workers' comp and they're out first, it's not
Yeah.
worth it. So anything up above 10 feet, we use a lift. So we'll rent it for a whole month and get everything lift wise done in that month.
Mhm.
We'll move on, that seems to work pretty good, nobody's gotten hurt in a long time.
right.
that's a good thing.
Work clothing doesn't change. Water testing and permits goes up a little bit, 25, that's gonna be for that building, but we also, they want a little bit more testing at our seasonals.
Mhm.
So that's gonna be, permitting is only about another 500 for the building. Probably about another 500 for testing.
Mhm.
Water systems maintenance is just gonna go up 1,000 because we take care of the systems ourselves, and that particular building has UV, but also we've been doing a lot over at the town park UV. We've replaced half of them over there. We have to do the rest.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it. Alarm monitoring is
Okay.
going up because of the we have to put in a panic button system at the new building. Install, which will probably only cost about $60 a month to maintain, to run it, but it's gonna be 3,000 to put it in.
Okay,
And then we also pay the ongoing cost for the video equipment around town for highway and parks and.
that's right, for the new cameras.
That's, yeah,
will be
they're,
installed.
they have an annual fee to run that system, and this number goes up because of that. So
Was that about $3,000 if I recall? Of this?
6,000.
6,000?
Because we have not just the parks, you also have the salt dome
Right,
and highway. Yeah.
right, okay, okay,
That's it for that. The other ones are, the streetlights, smaller.
so everything else is, yeah,
Yeah, if you go to that one right there, you're looking at it. In fact, that's what I was going to.
which one?
1680. Picnic services.
Mhm.
That number takes a big jump in the license fees. And that is mostly because we're changing over 2 of our firewalls to a managed system. And it's 3,000 a year just to manage the systems. And the security software for each one is probably 2,000 each, so it's about $10,000.
Mhm.
The year after that, that'll be cut in half because our equipment will be.
Mhm.
You pay for the equipment. We don't
But
pay for
that's kicked in already, right, this year?
We have 2 already done.
Okay,
We got 2 more to go.
right, okay,
Yeah, 2 are done, police are done. And this place is done. I still have to do Onatrue and the new building.
right, okay,
That's the only change in that. Group.
and next you have cemeteries.
The cemeteries we've been doing a lot more in grounds work.
Mhm.
Mowing, let's see where, so the mowing now, we actually have the walls cleared. We pick a couple a year and we push back whole areas back to the original walls from the
Mhm.
from the turn of the century. We still got a couple to do yet. But, we've been doing a lot with that.
Okay.
And the mowing costs seem to go up a little bit every year. Probably because we're clearing new areas and now we have to. now we have to mow
Maintain
them.
it.
Maintain them, yeah.
Yeah.
But it is making a difference. It's making a big difference.
Okay, next is popular lease.
That's really just what it costs. And it's just figuring out what we're paying for our equipment. You know, we go over to the new building, we can consolidate some of these machines, but we're still on the lease for another 1.5 years, I think.
Right.
So, but at some point, you know, if you won't have, right now LES is so big, we've got 4 copiers.
Mhm.
You probably don't need 4 in the new building,
Right.
like 1 on a floor, maybe, that's about it.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
a 1.5 years from now, we'll be dropping some copiers off probably.
Okay. You have streetlights.
Streetlights, 5180, that goes up like 2,000 because, I guess we're responsible for the streetlights, like the poles in Bowles Bridge. It used to be NYSEG originally, but now they don't do it. MTA doesn't do it, so we have to, DOT won't do it.
Mhm.
So all those aluminum poles are now town poles.
Which one? On the overpass?
On 138, yeah.
So we have to hire an electrician because it's pretty scary up there.
Yeah.
Go up on a ladder. So we have to hire an electrician to go up there and take care of things. We've done it for the last like 2 years.
So if there's a loose light or something's not working, you have to,
Yeah,
But we had people complain that the overpass was dark.
yeah.
yeah,
It's
So
been getting dark over the years, little by little, but been dropping off.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, all those
But
poles.
they used to do it, though.
We had never done it before. Up until a couple of years ago.
Is there a way
Maybe
we
they
can
just
push
never went
I think
bad.
they haven't needed, yeah,
They never went bad. I think now
Yeah.
they're starting to go bad.
their decision
That's what it
for
is.
our problem could go back 10 years, but we haven't had to deal with it.
Yeah.
But it used to be DOT with the aluminum poles. I remember, you know, seeing them there many years ago.
They're responsible for the sidewalk. Or who's,
They're
Actually, DOT is responsible for the sidewalk on 138.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But we have to keep the snow off.
Well,
The sidewalk that they built for MTA to get people from,
just from the stairway.
yeah.
We
But
do-
that was
Yeah.
MTA paid for that, but DOT maintains it.
Worth looking into.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have in the past. We've got letters from different people over the years. Seems like we end up doing it. So, no, it doesn't change. I think that's it, pose, yes, copy lease. And then some water and sewer now, it's Tony.
Yeah, that's not on here, so. Okay,
That's it.
and then you have your capital expense, but that's another, let's sit down and review
Right,
that.
yeah, that's
still.
yeah,
Okay,
that's for another time.
yeah. Okay, thank you very much, Joe. Okay, so next we have, let's go back to my file here. Next is we have a proposed amendment to chapter 199. Article 4 entitled Volunteer Firefighters and Ambulance Workers Exemption. What this is we're extending the exemption that volunteers get. So right now they're exempt from, they get a discount on their taxes if they live in town and volunteer in town. We're extending this to include volunteers that live in town but volunteer for agencies anywhere in Westchester County.
So what day you're looking at?
For public hearing, it has to be 2 weeks. Next meeting?
5 days notice, so you should be able to make that on. But the next meeting,
Remember talking about this before, just when it comes up, just to talk about the certified aspect of it. Like, for example, as far as that there's no definition as even with hours, I'm just,
Active. Have to be active. I think that's what you mean. Yeah.
yeah, but I was just like thinking from, because, for example, if there was a minimum number of hours and you get this benefit, maybe that's an incentive to help more people join, fire departments, for example. Just a thought.
I think it's better left to the officials of the fire departments to determine who qualifies. They have a great deal of paperwork and processes already in place to determine who qualifies for the discount.
So the legislation talks about the town determining the procedure for certification. That's how it's set up.
And so I think we had this discussion.
Yeah, we did a little bit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we ultimately.
And we left that to the agency.
Yeah, in other words,
To-
our process is to leave it to the agency,
Right.
the determination.
I mean, it does say here, the town of Lewisboro to determine the procedure for certification.
Right.
The applicant must submit proof of such certification. That's in the current code. That's in the current code. So,
That's not changing.
yeah, I think
That doesn't get submitted to the town though. We just get a list, I think, if I remember correctly, we get a list from the different departments, right?
right.
The application for the exemption is the assessment has to be reviewed, and then the assessment is on whatever the agency is volunteer looking to be done, whether it's the fire fund, whether it's an ambulance corps, make a determination as to eligibility. Determinations as to eligibility for exemptions are in the hands of the assessor for any type of exemption. Whether it's charitable, whether it's senior, anything like that, so that's, when we did this in 2023, that was part of the discussion.
Yeah, I remember.
That's how,
Yeah.
that's how it ended up. I have a couple weeks ago, there's something in there that in 199.16, it's miscellaneous that you want to modify, you can tell me. And I can make a revision. I
Yeah.
can speak to Lee's about it.
Screen.
It's not good, that section will be in there because it's not modified, that's the draft local law. And 199.16 is not being modified.
199.16.
Right, that's the miscellaneous provision of the application goes to the assessor. We're not changing.
Oh, we're not changing it, so it's not on here. Yeah.
But you can certainly, if there's something you wanted to clarify in that. If you want to turn.
Yeah, it's 199.13D. That talks about certification.
So where are we at as far as what the exemption is for someone who's certified accordingly?
10%.
10%.
That's what 10% of town
Their
taxes,
town
right?
tax.
That's, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we have no control over the school board.
Although the school does provide an exemption as well.
This has been around like 20 years already, hasn't it? It's initial exemption, for some reason, I'm remembering. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm not sure how long. Okay.
So
When do you want
Anybody-
to set the public hearing date for?
2 weeks from tonight. That's what we
A
agreed.
little shy, the 27th.
27th. Yeah, that's fine.
So I move that we set the public hearing for a proposed amendment to chapter 199, article 4, entitled Volunteer Firefighters and Ambulance Workers Exemption for October 27th.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Next item is the renewal of a cabaret license for Le Chateau for a period of 1 year.
Motion to renew.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next is public comment for any of the new business items on the agenda. Anybody here would like to speak? Barbara?
Hi, Barbara Mangione, Bridge. I don't know if this is a new thing, but Rich brought it up. When he was talking about the Parks and Rec budget and some more, outreach.
Marketing?
I do put it on the Facebook pages. I was a little slow in August because of surgery, but I'm back. But I do put it on 3 Facebook pages. And when they first release it, I put it out, and as the event's coming closer, I put it out, and if there's a big event, I put it out that day. And I don't know, I don't want to turn and ask her, but do they do things through the schools? You know, the PTAs, that's a good outreach if they allow it. I know the school is a little particular about sending flyers out through backpack mail. And I would also be very willing, Tony, if you want to meet with me, to do some kind of newer take on a welcome wagon. I don't know how many people you get at the events per year, you know, the new residents, new neighbor ones. I think it depends upon just, you know, who's around. You know, I would be more than willing to do a small volunteer committee of people who are new to town, because I think the people who need it the most are people who move in, probably have young kids that are not yet in the school system. I think those are the ones we're missing. I actually have a couple of contacts over at Lewisboro Commons now, because a couple of people reached out to me about events. So when something's going on, I send it directly to them. And that's it. And I just want to remind everybody, the Golden's Bridge Fire Department Community Day is this Saturday, the 18th, from 10 to 3.
Okay, thanks, Barbara. Anyone else here? Simone?
Simone Vista. On a positive note, I just want to say I was very impressed with Chief Alfano. He practically raised his own budget. So I think that should be applauded. It was highlighted, and I'm hoping he gets what he needs. I often think back to 2020, 2021, when all the ignorance about defunding the police was afoot, and everything he went through and everything he did to maintain our town. I'm super impressed with him. And I do know on my side of town, there were a couple of crimes committed. I spoke with some of the victims. And unfortunately, for whatever reason, the state police kind of bungled, you know, the investigations and lost track of information, which I know Chief Alfano wouldn't have done. So I like the detective idea that he has as well. Thank you.
Anyone else here? Zoom?
No.
No? No. All right. Okay, next we have approval of claims. So I'll go ahead and motion approval of claims.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Polling of the board. We'll start with Andrea.
Hope everyone had a nice holiday weekend. Unfortunately, the Garibaldi Society's Columbus Day celebration was postponed because, you know, you count on the weathermen and they always get you wrong. So Sunday was supposed to be really bad, so everything got canceled. So looking forward to seeing everybody Sunday the 19th from 2 to 6 at the Horse and Hound for a revisiting of a Columbus Day Italian Heritage Day celebration. What else? I think that's it right now. I know Barbara mentioned some events. We've got the Fall Fest this weekend, the Golden's Bridge Fire Department Community event this weekend, and some stuff on Sunday. Looks good. So hopefully, weather permitting, we'll see you all out and about this coming weekend.
Okay, Mary?
I want to thank the highway department for clearing up the wind damage over the weekend. It seemed like a lot of trees went down. Also, looking forward to supporting the Chief Alfano's budget. I also agree that the state police let us down, and I will stand by that. I think that all of Lewisboro should be taken care of, and I'm looking forward to supporting our police department getting the job done. I like the idea of the welcome wagon, and it's not just parents with young children, but recently empty nesters have been moving in as well. So that's another demographic, so to speak, that we can reach out to. Check the library website for their events as well. And just everybody, there have been a lot of people who've had some health issues and we just need to take care of each other as neighbors. I really think that we need to be Lewisboro strong and take care of each other and try. And even if we have differences of opinions, we should reach out and with a hand rather than strong words. So let's try and do better by each other.
Okay, thanks, Mary. Dan?
Nothing.
Rich?
I'm good, thank you.
All right, so yeah, and I'm looking forward to this weekend's events, and I think the weather's gonna cooperate this time. So looking forward to that. And thank you all for coming out. So in terms of announcements, town board meeting Monday, October 27th at 7:30 PM here at the Townhouse, 11 Main Street, South Salem. And I'd like to go ahead and motion to go into executive session for an attorney-client privilege discussion
And
Second.
2 personnel.
and personnel. Do I have a second? Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Thank you, everyone, for coming out.